That mark on your arm this morning? You've already Googled it, haven't you? Here's the problem. The internet will tell you it's a bed bug. It usually isn't. But the people who actually have bed bugs, they spend weeks convincing themselves it's something else. That's the trap, and it works both ways. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how to tell a bed bug from the 8 other things that get mistaken for one, and you'll know in under a minute without needing to find the bug itself. The bites are the last thing you should look at. Start somewhere else entirely. Almost every piece of bed bug advice online begins with bites. 3 in a row, itchy, red, the breakfast, lunch, and dinner pattern. And if you've seen that phrase, you've already encountered the first myth. There is no consistent bite pattern. A 2017 study published in the Journal of the American Academy of Dermatology found that trained dermatologists correctly identified bed bug bites only 43% of the time when looking at photos. Worse than a coin flip. The same bites get called mosquito reactions, contact dermatitis, scabies, hives, and spider bites constantly. So if the professionals can't do it reliably from bites alone, you definitely can't either. This doesn't mean the bites aren't real. It means they're the wrong starting point. What you actually want to find before you strip your mattress, before you call anyone, is evidence that doesn't lie. And bed bugs, for all their reputation as invisible terrors, are genuinely not that hard to catch once you know what you're actually looking for. But that's only half the story, because identifying bed bugs also means ruling out 8 things that aren't. Now, let's start with the most common false alarm: carpet beetles. If you found tiny dark specks near your bed, near a window, or along the baseboards, and they're smaller than a sesame seed, there's a reasonable chance you're looking at a carpet beetle larva, not a bed bug. Carpet beetle larvae are longer and thinner than bed bugs, covered in tiny brown bristles, and they move. Bed bugs at rest are flat, oval, and reddish brown, the color of an apple seed and roughly the same size. A bed bug that hasn't fed recently is so flat it can slide under a credit card. That's worth repeating. An unfed bed bug is almost paper thin. Carpet beetle larvae don't bite, but they shed their bristly skins, and those shed skins can cause a rash that reads exactly like insect bites. Thousands of people have treated themselves for bed bugs, discarded mattresses, hired exterminators because of carpet beetle shed skins touching their skin while they slept. To tell them apart, look at the shape. Oval and flat with no visible hair, reddish brown to mahogany in color, that's a bed bug. Long, hairy, and tapering at the end, that's almost certainly a carpet beetle larva. But carpet beetles are just one impersonator. The one most people don't expect is a lot closer to what they're actually scared of: bat bugs and swallow bugs. These two are genuinely difficult. They're in the same insect family as bed bugs, Cymicidae, and under casual inspection, they look nearly identical. Same flat oval body, same reddish color, same size range. The difference comes down to one thing: hair length on the pronotum, which is the plate just behind the head. Bat bugs have noticeably longer hair there. You need a hand lens or strong magnification to see it clearly. The behavioral clue is more useful in practice. Bat bugs and swallow bugs come from nests. Bat colonies in attics or walls, swallow nests under eaves. If you're finding them on an upper floor, near a chimney, or in a house with a known bat problem, and there's no clear sign of actual infestation in the mattress seams, you're probably dealing with the impersonator. Remove the host nest and the bugs leave too. That's not how a real bedbug infestation works. Now, here's where the 60-second test actually begins. You don't need to identify the bug perfectly. You need to find the right kind of evidence in the right places in a specific order, and that process takes about a minute if you know where to go. Step 1. The mattress seams. Not the surface, the seams. Run your finger along the piping on the edge of the mattress, especially at the corners near the headboard. What you're looking for isn't a bug, it's dark reddish-brown spotting. Bed bugs digest blood and excrete it, and those spots don't wipe away cleanly the way dust does. They smear. If you take a damp white cloth and press it against the spot, it should spread slightly red-brown. That's digested blood.
That's your first real signal. Step 2, the box spring. If you have one, lift it and look at the underside fabric near the wood frame. Bedbugs prefer the corner joints of the box spring. There's warmth, there's darkness, and there's the carbon dioxide you breathe out while you sleep, which is their primary navigation signal. Step 3, the headboard. If it's upholstered or hollow and attached to the wall, check behind it. Bedbugs move toward the sleeping person, and the headboard is the staging ground. 3 locations, 1 minute. If you find reddish-brown smear spots in at least 2 of those 3 locations, that's a genuine signal worth acting on. 1 spot in 1 location could still be an old stain. 2 locations is the threshold. If this kind of deep dive is useful to you, I put together the Indoor Creature Calendar, a month-by-month guide to what's actually active in your home, where, and why. It's linked in the description. Think of it as extra credit for this stuff.
Here's the part that doesn't get covered enough: the size and color range of bedbugs themselves. Most diagrams show a fully fed adult. That's the easy case. But there are 5 nymph stages before an adult, and early stage nymphs are nearly colorless, almost translucent yellow-white, and about the size of a printed period on a page. They only turn reddish after their first blood meal. So if you've been searching for the classic reddish-brown oval and dismissing anything that doesn't match, you've been missing the youngest bugs, which are the most common in an early infestation.
This matters because early infestations are the ones you can actually handle before they compound. Bedbugs reproduce relatively slowly compared to most insects. A female lays around 1 to 7 eggs per day, and the eggs take about a week to hatch. But the math gets uncomfortable fast. A single mated female starting an infestation can produce a population of several hundred in 3 months under warm conditions. That's the number that tends to land quietly. Now, for the actual myth that costs people the most, probably more than any other piece of bedbug misinformation out there, bedbugs don't only live in beds. About 70% of infestations center on the bed, because that's the warmest, most consistent source of carbon dioxide in the room. But the remaining population spreads. Electrical outlets, behind picture frames, in seams on couches, inside alarm clocks and radios on the nightstand, inside the hollow legs of bed frames. A study from the University of Florida documented bedbugs living as far as 100 feet from where the host slept, in neighboring apartments, through wall voids and electrical conduits. This is why the mattress test alone isn't enough. If you've treated the mattress and the problem came back, this is almost certainly why. The places most people miss during treatment, the underside of the nightstand, the power strip behind the bed, and the curtain hem near the floor. Not intuitive, not comfortable to check, but routinely where surviving bugs are found after an incomplete treatment. So, what do you actually do with a confirmed identification? One thing worth knowing before you spend money: heat treatment works because bedbugs die at 113 degrees Fahrenheit sustained for 90 minutes, or at 118 degrees more quickly. A clothes dryer on high heat for 30 minutes kills bedbugs and eggs in fabric items reliably. That's not a home remedy. It's the same thermal threshold professional heat treatments are calibrated to. It's the one DIY step that's fully validated. What doesn't work: most store-bought sprays don't penetrate the harborage sites where bugs actually hide. You're coating surfaces they're not on. Bedbug populations in the US have also developed widespread resistance to pyrethroids, the most common insecticide class in consumer products, documented clearly since the early 2010s. You may be spending money on something that does almost nothing.
The threshold for calling a professional: if you've confirmed 2 or more locations of evidence using the mattress test, that's worth a professional inspection. Not because you can't handle a single room, but because a professional will find the satellite locations you won't think to check. There's something quietly strange about the whole bedbug thing that doesn't come up often. Bedbugs have been human parasites for at least 3,500 years, possibly longer. Fossilized specimens were found in a 3,500-year-old Egyptian site.
They followed human migration out of caves, colonized the ancient world, and nearly disappeared in developed countries after widespread DDT use in the 1940s and 50s. Then DDT was banned, resistance built up, and they came back so thoroughly that by 2010, major infestations were being reported in 5-star hotels in Manhattan and Paris. They didn't come back because of poverty or poor hygiene. That's the stigma that makes people delay reporting and treating infestations. They came back because of global air travel, resistance to modern insecticides, and the fact that they're extraordinarily good at hiding in luggage. A single pregnant female is all it takes. That's not meant to be alarming. It's just a more accurate picture of what you're dealing with. Not a failure of cleanliness, but a genuinely sophisticated hitchhiker with a 3,500-year head start. Tonight, if you walk into your bedroom, you'll probably look at the mattress seams for a second before you catch yourself doing it. That's fine. That's actually the right instinct now. Most of what people call bedbug panic is misidentification, and most actual infestations sit unaddressed for weeks because people talk themselves out of it. Knowing the difference, the smear test, the 2-location rule, the nymph stages you weren't looking for, that's not paranoia. That's just paying attention to a room you spend a third of your life in. If you want to know what else moves through your home while you're not looking, there's more where this came from.